Dave Laram. I'm the RFU's club developer for Buckinghamshire, Berkshire and Oxfordshire, and this evening I'm at Olney Rugby Club in North Buckinghamshire with Marcus Trott, who's the Chair of Sponsorship and Fundraising Committee. We're here this evening to talk about how clubs can diversify their revenue income streams through sponsorship and partnership. So Marcus, thanks for inviting me into the club. Just to set the scene, how many members does Olney Rugby Club have?
So we've got a split membership model. So we've got 120 senior members playing across the first, seconds, thirds, and vets teams, as well as the ladies team as well. We've got 440, I think it is, minis and juniors registered, and then on top of that we've got about 150 VPs and social members as well. Wow,
big membership. Well done to you and the club. In terms of the sponsorship and partnership operation, can you just give us a brief outline of what it is at the club?
Yeah, we're a small club in a small town. Olney's a market town, very sort of family centric, so we try to display those local family values as a club really. So we've approached many small and large businesses in the town. We've also approached businesses outside of the town that have got perhaps a managing director or somebody on the board who lives in the town or has perhaps played for the club before, has children who play for the club currently. We don't just ask for money in a traditional sense where a club will just say, can we have X amount of pounds to have your logo on our shirts. We really truly look for a partnership between the club and the sponsor. We don't just want their money, we want their involvement. Hopefully we can then feed back in terms of social media marketing on our website, getting photos out there on social media with logos either emblazoned on the shirts or perhaps on an advertising board in the background. So it really is a two-way model.
And I've walked around the first team pitch and I've walked around the surrounds, and you know there's a lot of local businesses that are supporting Olney Rugby Club. Roughly how many sponsors and partners does the club have?
It's a difficult question to answer, and it's well in excess of 100. So we've got every team that we have is sponsored by a shirt sponsor. The first team is sponsored by 2 local businesses actually. We've got advertising boards all around the patio and at the first team pitch, but we've also got things like event sponsors, and we've got a small fixture card every season which traditionally has always had slightly smaller local tradesmen, for example, sponsoring either a page or half a page. So we really treat every sponsor the same, whether they be that local tradesman who's got a half-page advert, or whether it's the minis and juniors sponsor or the first team shirt sponsors. Everybody is treated equally.
And we know that rugby, you know, community rugby can be an expensive thing for a rugby club. So in terms of, you know, what would you anticipate, you know, the annual income being through your sort of sponsorship and partnership operation?
It's actually a difficult question to answer, and particularly over the last couple of years for obvious reasons. We have contacted every sponsor, and some sponsors were fortunate enough to pay for 2 years of sponsorship up front 2 years ago, and they got a small discount for being able to support the club through that period. And we've also supported other companies that have struggled over the last couple of years. So there's one particular advertising board sponsor who is still struggling through the COVID period, but we've left their board up because their involvement of the club has gone back many years, and hopefully they'll see better times in the future as well. So it goes back to that two-way model. I can't actually put a figure on how much we get from sponsorship and fundraising. There is a vast proportion of the revenue that comes in every year from the same reoccurring sponsors. So that is what I'm most proud of, really, that every year the same sponsors come back and are happy to pay their sponsorship again the following year.
Now obviously Olney Rugby Club have income generation through several channels. So in terms of your sponsorship and partnership, what kind of percentage do you think it makes up of your sort of your target income for the season?
Again, it's massive. I can't probably put a figure on it. The sponsorship and partnering, along with running events, and obviously when you run an event, the money that we then make across the bar, for example, or through selling food or anything else that goes on those event days. It could be selling raffle tickets, it could be selling match cards, it can be anything. As a percentage, it's difficult, but I would say it's probably about 80% plus.
And your title is Chair of Sponsorship and Fundraising Committee. In terms of the operation, is this volunteers or have you got paid staff?
Absolutely. We're completely run on volunteers. It's not just me either. There's 5 of us on the sponsorship committee. We all do a bit of everything. There isn't one dedicated person just doing everything. It really is a team putting together the sponsorship opportunities.
And as a subcommittee of the main committee, who is ultimately responsible and accountable for the sponsorship and partnership operation?
Well, I guess that's me because I'm the lead of the subcommittee, and I report to the board or the committee on a monthly basis.
Fantastic. And looking at what is a really successful operation for the club, and it's fantastic to see how you embrace local businesses, and they obviously want to be part of you. What does a successful sponsorship and partnership operation look like for Olney Rugby Club?
Smiles on faces is probably the best thing I could suggest. If you invite a sponsor down, if they come down for a pint on a random Wednesday night, they need to feel welcome. If they go home with a smile on the face, guess what? They're going to come back again. If they come back again, they're going to enjoy themselves again. When it comes to the start of the new season and we approach them to renew their sponsorship or perhaps take out a bigger sponsorship or even a sponsor a one-off event, if they've got a smile on their face when they leave the clubhouse, they'll be more than welcome to have a conversation. Whether they actually put their hand in their pocket for any more than they're doing, obviously it's down to finances and the economy.
And in terms of this club's developing, it's about to go into an attractive new sort of build of changing rooms, and there's real ambition around the place. What would your sort of plans be to further develop the success of the sponsorship and partnership programme?
Again, it's just making people feel valued when they come down here, valued as a player, valued as a supporter, valued as a sponsor. If everybody feels valued, we'll all collectively keep progressing.
So it's been a fascinating conversation, and I think for the benefit of other grassroots rugby clubs, Marcus, what would your top tips be for a community club to be able to develop a robust sort of sponsorship and partnership programme for their own club?
Be clear, be true to your values as a club. As I said earlier, we're a very family-focused club, we're a very family-focused town. If we weren't family-focused, but the town was family-focused, the two aren't going to mix. So be true to your values, I guess, is the answer.
Marcus, it's been an absolute pleasure to be able to spend some time with you and have a look around the club. I'd like to wish you the best for the season, and I look forward to speaking to you in the future.